Hello! Welcome to Bad at Board Games.
Well, he's bad at board games.
I'm Brad Lake.
And I'm Aura.
And we're bad at board games, so you don't have to be. Today, we're going to be talking about trails. And you clicked on my side. Thank you. Appreciate that.
They probably watched my video first. It's okay.
Don't tell me. Don't tell me that. Don't say that in the comments. It'll make me sad. Okay? Anyway, today we're going to be talking about Trails. It's a cute little game. 1 to 4 players from Keymaster Games and Mr.
No, 2 to 4. 2 to 4.
What did I say?
1 to 4.
I meant to say 2 to 4.
I mean, I guess you could play it solo. You might be able to find a way to do it solo. It would be boring. I hike solo though.
Yeah.
I think you figure it out.
2 to 4 with Henry Audubon as the designer and lots of artists that make up the cards. So, my dear, what did you think of the appearance of this game?
I really like this game. Same thing that I think I said with Parks is I really love the artwork. I think they did a fantastic job all throughout. I really like the little cutout meeples. They're adorable. Yeah, it's a good quality game. I think the artwork is probably my favorite part of it.
And it's a nice, basic looking game. You got your wooden resources, nice looking cards, nice looking tracks that you have on the game. The mechanic of this is basically you're taking your hiker and you can move up to 2 spaces and you pick up a resource. And once you pick up a resource, at the end of the trail, you can choose to get one of these cards, and the cards tell you how many resources you need. So this one needs 3 acorns and 2 rocks. This one needs 1 rock and 3 acorns, and they have victory points on them. So victory point game, in this case, I think it's the little birds. How many birds or how many things did you take pictures of along the way? So, it's just going back and forth. There are 6 sessions, I guess, seasons. So the sun is moving across the sky, and as the sun sets across each tile, you flip the tile over to the night side. You get more resources as the sun moves, and that also dictates when the game ends. So that's kind of the basic mechanics of it. You're drawing cards, you're able to get more resources at the end of each trail, and as you're walking down the trail is when you gather your resources. What do you think about strategy? Because one of the things you've really started to enjoy is the depth of a game and the strategy that you kind of come out with.
I think there's not as much with this one. It is a little bit more straightforward because I think it's meant to be a little bit faster gameplay. There still is a good amount of strategy to it. Like you can go through and you can, try to do more of the pictures. You could try to focus on getting more of the birds. You can, there's just a lot of different ways that you can go about it when you're going in, and okay, which way am I going to try to have the most points at the end? I think there are a few different ways that you could do that. So I think that's nice.
Yeah, it's not as in-depth. You can check out the other review here, maybe it's over here, for Parks. This is Parks Light, and I got this because I was interested in Parks, and she really likes hiking and nature, and so I was trying to find games that we could kind of come together on that then would, I could pull her into other games that, are more on the side I like. And then I've been really surprised. I'm like, I really like these games. So, if you're curious about Parks and just don't want to spend the money, try Trails. It's if you like this mechanic, if you like sitting down and it's a nice little filler game, travel game, you don't even need this box. You can throw it in a Ziploc bag and take it with you. You'll like Big Brother.
Yeah, it's the Parks is way better. I will say that I enjoy it much better for a lot of different reasons. I would say if you're trying to keep it less complicated though, and if you're playing with people that are not big game players, like if you do want to take it on the trail with you, for example, and you want to have it, at a campsite with a bunch of other hikers, this would be a good one to do. Now, I don't know for sure how well it would hold up with moisture. With Ziploc bags and things like that. I do think a lot of these cards, they have a nice finish on them. So they may hold up fairly well to a limited amount of moisture. So it might actually be something that you could pack up and you could take on the trail and you could be, at a group campsite with some other hikers and really enjoy it. And I know like anybody that is an avid hiker camper, you always look for ways to bring everybody together. Like if you've stopped at a shelter and you're making new friends, you know, and you're hanging out with people, this is a nice way to do it, especially if you're in a place that you can't have a campfire, because there are a lot of those that you're, you know, seasons that you're not able to have a campfire. This would be something else that you could get a lot of those people around and enjoy.
Mm-hmm. And there's probably nothing here that you're going to have to worry about if it does get lost, because the paper will degrade and the, you know, little wooden pieces, they're not plastic. So a lot more.
Very environmentally friendly.
Yep. And you said that every one of these, they donate, right?
Yes, yeah, they do. They donate to the national parks. There's a little snippet on the back. I'm not sure of the percentage.
Right.
But yeah, it all looks like it's you know, sustainable materials. I don't see any plastics aside from, you know, the molding that goes in it. I don't know how environmentally friendly that is, but
well, this one doesn't have molding.
It doesn't. Oh, okay. Yeah. So very environmentally friendly all the way around. I don't know all the specs on all of it, but again, like these are wood, some paint on them, and these are paper. Yeah. And like I said, this does not feel like, I'm sure if you submerged it in water, it would eventually fall to pieces.
Don't do that.
Yeah, don't do that. They're not like completely water resistant, but I think, you know, with a water sealed, you know, bag or a airtight bag, you would be fine to take this on a trail. And it's without the packaging, it wouldn't be super, super heavy. I mean, you wouldn't even have to take all the cards if you didn't want to. It wouldn't add a lot of pack weight, really.
So we've turned this into a hiking thing, not a board game thing. So for, you know, those of you who want to get into hiking, ask her to start a YouTube channel.
Probably won't happen.
So, but I'm going to go to like some of our games. I've talked about this a couple times, but like I call it a board game breakfast, right? And this is an easy one just to pull out. And I would say, I know you like Parks better now. Well, I brought this out. What would you have done if I'd have brought Parks out first, though?
Ooh, I don't know. I might have,
because like this,
I can't really say for sure. The night you brought this out, though, I was very tired. I think I had been at work all day, and I was like, "Oh my gosh,
even
this
after
is a
a couple
lot."
times, like in the morning and things when we play it. This was a nice.
This was a nice intro to it. So I can't say for sure. I would say if we had started that one that particular night, I might have been a little overwhelmed by just because it had more things to it, and I was just not in a very learning mood that night.
And that's kind of the reason I brought that up is more to the point of. It's a lead-in game. It's a filler game. It's something that you can get to the table easily. It's something that you can bring people in that like nature themes or just like pretty boards, right? Yeah. This will get somebody into that mode, and you can play 4 players, right? You don't. It's going to be nice at 3. This one's not going to be as tough as Parks with 3 or 4 players because you can have multiple meeples on each spot. In Parks, they kind of limit you, and that's part of the strategy of it. So that's how they're ratcheting up kind of the complexity. It's just a nice, easy little game. Yeah. So what would you rate this at? Now,
so it's going to depend. I would say it's below, I mean, it's below Parks. You know, Parks I rated, spoiler alert, Parks I rated it a 7 or 8. I would say 7.
Go click here if you want to go see Parks.
Okay. That's where it is. Might be there. Who knows? So trails, I mean, it would be a little bit below that, depending on the situation. So it could be a 6 if we're playing at home. But the fact that this is more portable, the fact that you can take it and be around a group of, you know, hikers, campers, whatever, and, you know, have something they can bring, I would say that would bring it up higher. I mean, I would sacrifice the weight in my pack to bring this along to have it as a get-together activity with strangers on the trail. So I would probably rate it at an 8 for that reason.
So it's an 8.
It's either a 6 or an 8, depending on the situation.
So if you're going to travel with it, you're going with this because it's smaller.
Yeah, we could take that on a hike with us. We could go on a picnic. Yeah. We could take this, you know, if we're going on a trip and have something small. It's not going to take up a lot of space.
Yeah. And then if we're playing at home, Parks.
Yes, absolutely. If you have the space for it, if travel is not an issue, weight is not an issue, definitely Parks is better. This is just a nice portable way to go about it. So very well thought out.
Yeah, and I'm not going to disagree. So BGG World 6 starts to get into this, I don't want to play it anymore. So I would even say like I'll push it to like a 6.5. The other game, I'm going to want to pull Parks out before I pull this out. But I wouldn't have gotten Parks if it weren't for this.
Yeah.
So like, it's the chicken and the egg. I wasn't really willing to put that much money into a board game until I tried this. I was willing to put, I think I might have got this less than $15.
And I might have rated that higher if I never played Parks. But after playing Parks, I'm like, oh, well, that's a big improvement on it. Yeah.
So there you have it. That's our review. We hope you enjoyed it. And I hope you check out some links below. Comment. We really do like, hearing what you have to say. Subscribe. We're almost to 500. Well, we're almost to 400. Let's get us to 400. And then maybe we can get to 500. And 1,000.
We're gonna work on this. It's going to happen.
So, we'll bring in all the lumberjacks and all the hikers and things like that. That's getting to the hiking channel.
Lumberjacks and hikers. I don't know about that.
They're the board game. They're the niche in the board gaming community. I know you're out there. Thank you very much. Have a great night.
Thank you. Good night.
Bye.
Lumberjacks.
I feel like
Lumberjacks cut down the trees.